Go to your makeup bag and pull out your foundation. That formula was engineered for 25-year-old skin, tested on 25-year-old skin, and marketed to everyone else. But put it on a face with actual life in it, and it cracks, creases, oxidizes, and settles into every line like grout. After 30 years doing makeup for film and television, I have watched $100 bottles collapse by lunch. Today, 10 foundations that age you fast, 5 rules to spot them at the counter, and 5 that take 15 years off. Grab your coffee, darling. Some of your favorites will not survive this. Let us start with the offenders, counting down to the absolute worst. Number 10, Armani Luminous Silk. 5 out of 10, and I know that hurts to hear. This is the red carpet legend, the bottle every beauty editor swore by, and on camera-ready 20-something skin at a photo shoot, fine, she is lovely. But on mature skin, she is a different story. She is a thin, silicone slip formula, which means the pigment stays mobile on the skin instead of locking down, and mobile pigment travels. It shifts right into your smile lines, fades unevenly across the cheeks, and by late afternoon, your face is wearing 2 different foundations. For a bottle sitting at that price in the department store beauty hall, I expect her to hold the fort until dinner. She does not. Luminous Silk is a beautiful first impression and a disappointing marriage, and honey, at our age, we have all had enough of those. But at least she fades politely. This next one changes color on you. Number 9, Fenty Soft Lit. 5 out of 10. The application is genuinely lovely, I will give her that. She glides on smooth with a damp sponge, the glow looks fresh in the bathroom mirror, and you leave the house feeling like the filter is built in. But this formula oxidizes. Here is what that actually means, because the beauty counter never explains it. The iron oxide pigments and the oils in the formula react with the air and with your skin's own natural oils, and that chemical reaction darkens the shade over the hours you wear it. So the color you matched under store lighting is no longer the color on your jaw by midday. And as she darkens, she clings to texture around the nose and chin, going patchy exactly where you want her smoothest. A foundation that only performs for the first 2 hours is not a foundation, darling. It is a photo opportunity. Number 8, Clinique Even Better. 4 out of 10, and this one annoys me because the name is practically written for mature skin. Even better. It sounds like a promise. But step into actual daylight and this finish reads dull and flat. And flat is the enemy of a face over 50. Youth is dimension. It is light moving across the cheekbones, catching the high points, creating shadow and glow. Skin over 50 has slower cell turnover and less natural oil, which means it already reflects less light than it did at 30. A flat matte formula takes away the little radiance you have left and hands you nothing back. It sits there like a matte wall and emphasizes every dry patch you own. It evens your tone while aging your face, and that is a trade no woman should be making at the counter. And if you think the luxury French option does better, wait until you hear what happens at lunch. Number 7, Dior Forever. 4 out of 10. Gorgeous out of the bottle. I will not lie to you. That first application at the vanity in good lighting is a moment, but give her a few hours and watch what happens. She settles into the pores across the cheeks. She highlights every dry spot like a spotlight operator, and she breaks down around the nose before you have even ordered the appetizer. Forever is a bold name for a foundation that does not survive a matinee. On a film set, I need a base that holds through 12 hours under hot studio lights, through sweat, through touch-ups between takes. I have pulled this bottle out of my professional kit exactly once, and it went back in the drawer by the second setup of the day. This one cannot hold through lunch at a bistro, and the price tag makes that failure personal. Number 6, IT Cosmetics CC Cream. 3 out of 10. The coverage is absolutely there. Nobody is disputing the coverage. The problem is how it sits. This formula lays on the face like a mask, heavy and obvious, and mature skin cannot afford heavy and obvious. In soft indoor lighting at the bathroom mirror, you might get away with it. Step out onto the sidewalk in full daylight, and this finish is loud and not in a fun way. You can see the product sitting on top of the skin instead of becoming the skin, and the moment foundation becomes visible as foundation, you have added years, not covered them. Full coverage should never mean full announcement. The next offender has the opposite problem. She goes on light as air, and then she refuses to cooperate. Number 5, Rare Beauty. 3 out of 10. The branding is soft, the packaging is sweet, the first hour is friendly. Lightweight, breathable, blends like a dream with fingertips at the mirror. And then she sets. And once this foundation sets, she refuses to move. Try to blend a little concealer over her in the afternoon. Try to warm up a patchy spot on the cheek, and she separates like a bad sauce. On set, I need a base I can work over all day, touching up an actress between takes without starting from bare skin. A formula that locks down and then falls apart the moment you touch it is soft branding wrapped around a harsh reality, and at home, that means your 3 o'clock touch-up makes things worse instead of better. Number 4, Huda Easy Blur. 3 out of 10. The name promises a blur, and for about 20 minutes at the vanity, you get one. Fine lines soften, pores retreat, and you think, well, she delivered. Then the blur clocks out. This formula looks heavier the longer you wear it, building weight through the day like she is collecting interest, and she goes patchy fast, especially through the T-zone. A blurring foundation that stops blurring is just a thick foundation, and thick is the fastest way to add a decade to your face. Not the blur we were promised, darling, not even close. But this next one is the entry that will start fights in the comments because she has a fan club, and the fan club is wrong. Number 3, NARS Natural Radiant Longwear. 3 out of 10, and I can hear the gasps from here. Yes, the coverage looks beautiful the moment it goes on. That is the trap. This formula settles so fast it should come with a stopwatch. Within the hour, she is sinking into every fine line around the eyes and mouth, clinging to every bit of texture on the cheeks. And here is the crime. She actually makes fine lines look deeper than they are, because pigment pooling inside a line is a shadow, and shadow is depth. I have wiped this off actresses in the makeup trailer between setups because the camera added 10 years the formula put there. Radiant in the bottle, ruthless on the face. Quick pause, because I can feel some of you clutching your makeup bags. If your holy grail just got dragged, tell me in the comments which one, because the replacements coming later in this video will heal the wound. And hit subscribe while you are down there, because next week I am doing this exact thing to concealers. Now, the 2 worst offenders. Number 2, Bare Minerals Bare Pro. 2 out of 10, too matte, too dry, too strict. This foundation has the energy of a substitute teacher who confiscates phones. Here is the science of why she is so cruel to us specifically. Matte formulas like this one rely on powders like silica to absorb oil from the skin. Young, oily skin has oil to spare. But after menopause, sebum production falls sharply, which means mature skin is already running dry, and a formula built to drink oil starts drinking your moisture instead. So she grips onto every flake, every dry patch, every crease, and holds them up to the light. I have watched this bottle make 50-year-old skin photograph like 70 under studio lighting, and no powder, no setting spray, no prayer could soften it. Matte finishes had their moment. On a mature face, that moment is over. No thank you, and frankly, no thank you again. And number 1, the worst foundation for mature skin, Too Faced Born This Way. 2 out of 10. Thick, cakey, and she oxidizes into an entirely different color by lunch. You match her at the counter, you wear her home, and by noon, there is an orange stranger living on your jawline. This formula is stuck in 2016, back when full-beat Instagram makeup ruled the world. And darling, she is not coming back. She creases everywhere, the eyes, the smile lines, the forehead, like she is checking boxes on a tour of your face. Nostalgia cannot save her. Some things we loved a decade ago belong in a decade ago, and this bottle is one of them. So those are the 10. But before I hand you the winners, I am handing you something better, because a list of names expires and a trained eye does not. Here are 5 rules to spot an aging formula at the counter in under a minute. Rule 1. Read the finished words on the label. Matte, longwear, and full coverage on the same bottle is a warning label for mature skin. Those words mean powders that grip and pigment that piles. Look instead for words like luminous, hydrating, serum, and skin tint. The label is telling you how it will behave. Believe it. Rule 2, never trust the back of your hand. The skin on your hand is thicker, oilier, and smoother than the skin on your face, so every swatch looks flawless there. Swatch on your jawline, then walk out of the store lighting and check it in daylight. Store lighting is warm and flattering on purpose. Rule 3, check the first 5 ingredients. Ingredients are listed by quantity, so the top of the list is most of the bottle. Alcohol high on the list means drying. Glycerin, squalane, or hyaluronic acid near the top means the formula is carrying moisture with it. Rule 4, do the smile test. Apply the sample, let it set for 2 minutes, then smile hard 10 times and look closely at your smile lines. If pigment has already collected in the crease at the counter, it will be living there by lunch. Rule 5, the 2-hour rule. Never buy a foundation the same hour you try it. Wear the sample out of the store, run your errands, and check your jaw in the car mirror 2 hours later. Oxidation, creasing, and patchiness all need time to confess. If she still matches at hour 2, she can come home with you. Now for the good news, because I did not come here just to break hearts. 5 foundations that take years off, counting down to the one I would put on anybody. Number 5, Maybelline Fit Me. 7 out of 10, and yes, from the drugstore aisle, because performance does not check price tags. This is one of the best lightweight foundations for a natural finish, full stop. She blends easy with a damp sponge, she does not sit aggressively in fine lines, and the finish reads like actual skin having a good day. Real skin energy on a budget, and I have used her on camera more times than the luxury brands would like to know. Number 4, Fenty Ease, 8 out of 10. Where soft lit stumbled, Ease glides, and yes, that is the same brand landing on both of my lists, because I rank formulas, not logos. Lightweight, softly blurred, completely effortless, the kind of base where your skin still looks like skin, just quietly upgraded. And here is the rare part. She looks good in any lighting. Kitchen lighting, office lighting, that horrible car mirror in full sun. Very few formulas pass the car mirror test from Rule 5, darling. This one does. Number 3, House Labs. 8 out of 10. This foundation feels more elevated than most formulas at any price, and I mean any. Smooth, forgiving, never cakey, never flat. She does not emphasize fine lines, she skims right over them, and the skin looks hydrated from morning coffee to evening news. If you want the modern, luminous, expensive-looking finish without the department store markup, this is your girl. Number 2, Lancome Tan Idol. 9 out of 10. Smooth, expensive feeling, and she stays exactly where you put her through a full workday. This is rich skin energy without the mess, the foundation equivalent of a woman who arrives on time in impeccable tailoring. Is she a little serious? Yes, but she performs from the first meeting to the last toast, and at our age, performance is the whole romance. So, what could possibly beat her? And number 1, the foundation that takes 15 years off. 10 out of 10, and in 30 years of doing this professionally, I have given exactly one of those. There is one foundation made for mature skin, and it works completely differently. It is called Luxe. Instead of one fixed shade sitting on your face, Luxe uses color-changing technology that adapts to your exact skin tone as you blend it in, which is why it is almost impossible for it to oxidize orange. It cannot drift away from a shade it created on your skin in the first place. The formula is light and flexible, so it moves with mature skin instead of fighting it. It does not settle into wrinkles, it blurs fine lines, smooths texture, and looks natural, never heavy. When I use it on women over 50 in my chair, the reaction at the mirror is always the same. They lean in, touch their cheek, and say it looks like my skin, just better. That is exactly what we have all been searching for since our 40s, and this is the first time I have seen a formula actually deliver it. Luxe is not stocked in stores yet, but it is the best-selling foundation on Amazon right now, and hundreds of women are already wearing it every day. The link is in the description below. And look at this transformation on screen. The lines softened, the tone evened, no orange jawline, just fresh, rested skin. Results may vary from face to face, of course, but in 30 years behind the makeup chair, this is the closest thing to a reset button I have ever found. So here is where we land. You now know the 10 bottles aging you at the vanity, the 5 rules that spot a bad formula before it ever touches your face, and the 5 that earn their place in your bag. The Luxe link is waiting in the description if you want the one that passed every test. Foundation should never be the thing aging you. Read the finish, not the marketing, and reach for formulas that move with your face, because your face has earned a base that keeps up with it. Subscribe right now, because next week I am running this exact ranking on concealers, and honey, the concealer aisle has even more to answer for. Until then, stay gorgeous.